Every day around the world, approximately 490,000 babies are born, which means in every minute there are 340 women in labor and in need of extra care. Whether the baby is delivered in a hospital or elsewhere, childbirth is an important moment when every mother needs the best support and attention in order to ensure safe and natural delivery. Today's technology and medical advancements are helpful in dealing with complications during childbirth and ensure the safety of both mother and baby. However, these days, it often means not viewing childbirth as a natural process, but as a medical condition that needs to be treated with surgical procedures, with the mothers placed under the complete control of the hospital carers. Indeed, childbirth has become a lucrative business for hospitals, and caesarean birth procedure is often practiced or offered to mothers as a choice and not necessarily to tackle emergency situations. Not only that, but for many people who cannot afford the hospital fees, giving birth is an expensive process. This is where Robin Lim fills the gap. Known locally as Ibu Robin, the Bumi Sehat Foundation health clinics offer prenatal care, birthing services and medical aid for thousands of low-income mothers in Bali and elsewhere. In the first 8 months of 2011 alone, the clinic assisted in the delivery of around 400 babies. Bridging the need to provide a natural, traditional childbirth experience in a safe and professional environment, Ibu Robin and her team of trained midwives succeed in creating a space that is physically and emotionally supportive for pregnant women. Her effort and dedication to the communities around her earned her the nomination and winning title of the 2011 CNN Hero of the Year, awarded by the News Network. I'm interested in how this American-born midwife ends up where she is now. Okay, so Robin, I see you, an American woman, in Indonesia, in Bali, and being a midwife, helping women give birth to babies. What's your story? How did you end up here, and why? What happened in your life that brought you here?
Well, I think that when I was a little girl, about 8 years old, my father was here in Indonesia in the 60s. He was in the military. And usually, as a family, we would travel with him. But life in Indonesia at that time was quite dangerous. I think that was the year of living dangerously.
This is in the 60s.
And he sent me a package with a shadow puppet. And I fell in love with Indonesia at this time. And as an adult, my sister died 21 years ago from a complication of her third pregnancy. This was in the United States with insurance under the care of a doctor. He never told her she was high risk. And she and my niece or nephew, we don't know, also died. And at that time, I was working as an author making childbirth books. And so at that time that my sister died, I decided to go back to school and become a midwife because I felt like this is a huge problem. I started to look at statistically what was happening. At the time that my sister died, the underreported statistic was that a mother died every minute. Now we have 42 an hour, so it has gotten better. And I wanted to become part of the solution. So I took that sadness and I started to feel the energy of anger, and I thought, no, that doesn't help. I'll take that energy and become part of the solution.
I'm interested in you mentioning about you were studying about being a midwife, and then your sister died in childbirth, and you had this anger rising within you, and you were in the United States, supposedly. It's the most, there shouldn't be any problem with healthcare and childbirth.
It shouldn't be a problem.
So
but it is a problem.
What questions came into your mind then? And why do you think
Well, I started to ask myself, why are women dying? Did you know that the United States is number 39 in the world, meaning that it's safer to give birth in 38 other countries rather than the United States? So if you're pregnant in America, you maybe should move to Latvia if you want to survive your pregnancy and birth. And yet the United States spends more on childbirth technology than any other country in the world. So you would think that our mothers would be surviving at a greater rate. They're not. So I had to ask, why is childbirth technology, not saving lives? Maybe it's not the answer, which is why I chose to be a midwife rather than a doctor. Because a midwife can deliver babies anywhere. You know, when we say Hut is famous for going to disaster zones. We've been to Aceh, where we still have a beautiful community health and childbirth clinic. We were in Padang. We were in Jogja after the earthquakes. We were in Haiti. And what we respond to is the fact that after a big natural disaster, like an earthquake or a tsunami or both...
It's a very challenging situation.
Well, and imagine the pregnant women are no longer a focus. So when everything is lost, pregnant women also are hungry. Pregnant women also have no water and no shelter. So what happens to them? Because their needs are greater than your average person. They're taking care of a baby inside the womb. So, I mean, we see what happens to them. They give birth to premature babies. Their babies don't make it. They have hypertension from the grief. They have hypertension from the bad diet. If they have any food, and also no water. So we go and our solution is that, look, midwives can deliver babies with or without shelter, with or without electricity.
Under a tree.
Honestly, we deliver babies under trees in Haiti. And we found a way. We used blue tarps and bamboo, and we made shelter for women in Aceh to give birth.
So do you feel that your practice, the practice of gentle birth, the practice of, delivery by midwives, is that being accepted by sort of the medical profession, or even do more and more women feel like, hey, there is an
Well, women have always wanted natural
childbirth.
I mean, if you ask a woman, when you give birth to your baby, do you want an episiotomy? I've never heard of a woman saying yes. They don't want to be cut. Oh, that's the scariest thing. Imagine being cut. And so women have wanted natural childbirth. They have lost faith, many of them, in their own ability to give birth naturally. Whereas they have a tremendous capacity to give birth naturally, and they will give birth naturally if they're cared for properly. In that small percentage where we need the medical intervention, we have an ambulance, and we're ready to go. So, yes, birth is the most natural thing in the world. We've changed our food on the planet. Now remember, everyone used to eat organic food. Now all over Asia, the rice was changed. You know, we're eating this white, high-yield, green revolution rice. They shouldn't call it green.
Which is less nutrition, actually.
Not only less, none. I mean, it fills your belly. It's a starch which turns to sugar when you chew it, and it fills your belly. Because we changed the staple food in Asia. Now this was changed by, American modern scientists. But they didn't think of the side effects. We can buy red organic rice or brown organic rice, but the price is 3 or 4 or 5 times
more expensive.
What you have to pay normally per kilo. So, of course, the poor people don't buy this rice. Sweet potato is very nutritious, and it's medicine for the womb. It's actually medicine for the uterus. So this traditional wisdom mixed with our modern situation. And again, many, many doctors all over Indonesia are starting to say, yes, we need to focus more on natural solutions, holistic health options. You know, we want women to survive, and we want their babies to survive birth, not only alive, but with their integrity, with their cultural integrity. We want this for everyone, not just the wealthy.